Enterprise resource planning solutions, or ERP solutions for manufacturing, are basically software systems designed to help manufacturers manage and streamline their business operations. They are often an important part of digital transformation journeys. But what do manufacturers in Canada actually hope to achieve with ERP implementation? And earlier this year, Manufacturing Automation actually conducted a website poll to find this out. With the option to select multiple responses, we sort of have the results with us of that poll, and it's very interesting. And this is why we're going to discuss. We have with us Jonathan Gross, Managing Director at Pemeco Consulting. John helps Pemeco's manufacturing and distribution clients architect and implement technology environments that integrate ERP with the edge, including IoT, analytics, manufacturing execution, quality, supply chain, logistics, and other such systems. So welcome, John.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, Sukanya. Thanks for having me.
Out of curiosity, looking at the results, given, what people chose, what the respondents chose, would you like to comment on why you think, it is the way it is, why the results are this way?
Yeah, I mean, so really, according to the survey, 99% of the respondents said they want all of these categories to be goals relating to their ERP projects. And I guess it's not a surprise, because let's think about what ERP is fundamentally meant to do for manufacturing companies. It's really, at its core, it does a lot of things, but fundamentally it's meant to do two things. It's meant to take all of your sources of supply, all of your sources of demand, and really tell you how to balance your material requirements given the entire end-to-end supply chain. It's really this planning engine that drives many manufacturing companies to invest in these systems. And the other thing it's meant to do, it's intended to take all of those operational transactions, sales orders and purchase orders and work orders and distribution orders and the like, and drive all of those operational transactions in real time to the general ledger. So for, integrated finance and accounting and cost accounting requirements. So we take a look at this list over here, and does this surprise me? I guess in many respects it doesn't, because really what companies are saying is, hey, we want to be able to lean on our system and integrated cross-functional processes to improve our planning, improve our supply chain management, to improve, the financial effectiveness of our decisions and our cost management and the like. So I think really fundamentally, this is consistent with what these ERP systems are intended to do.
Great. So, out of curiosity, I would like to ask, are there any challenges, or I would say downsides of having an ambitious ERP implementation goal strategy, something like wanting all of these to be achieved from the get-go?
Well, yeah, ERP projects are notoriously hard. We all know that, right? So, I mean, if we're going to try to change a lot of things, and if we're going to try to change our processes to make sure our inventory is accurate, or we're able to, capture production in near real time and make improvements in our manufacturing processes and like, requires us to implement a lot of change.
Right.
Change not just in terms of business processes, of course, but change in terms of the way people work in their day-to-day jobs. And pushing that change through a company is a lot of hard work. These systems are very, very big, and they have to be set up in the right way. They have to be tested in the right way. We have to, perhaps change the way our people interact with computer systems on a day-to-day basis. So there's certainly a lot of risk and a lot of cost, but there are huge benefits to doing it. And the question I think most companies have to ask themselves is, should we do this all at once, or can we phase things in a sequential way? And I think some of the answers to those questions are, well, it depends on what you've got and what foundation you've got. So if you're starting from a legacy system that you want to replace and you want to put in a whole new ERP system. In other words, we're gonna get rid of the old, we're gonna buy something new, we're gonna implement it. Chances are you're gonna put in the project in an integrated basis, and that's a big, expensive, risky project. But if you have a really good system already, and let's say it's not implemented to the fullest extent
Right.
or in the best way possible, maybe you have an opportunity to chunk it up.
Okay. And what would you say would form a more realistic ERP implementation goal or strategy? Where would you suggest manufacturers start this journey?
Yeah, I mean, you have to make it realistic, you have to make it achievable.
Right.
So I think to undertake this type of change, you have to think of a few things. One, you have to resource it properly. So it's really about setting the right expectations in terms of what you should be implementing and how
Right.
you're going to deliver that implementation. So in terms of what you should be implementing, look, if your bills of material and your routings aren't accurate, if your inventory on the shelf isn't accurate, don't go into your project with an expectation that I want to connect my ERP system to my control systems and my machines on the shop floor and take advantage of Industry 4.0 and AI. That's not a realistic kind of short-term objective. You have to take a crawl, walk, run approach. So the first step might be, let's get our house in order. Let's build the foundation before we think of turning on some of the more whiz-bang functionality. And the second piece is think about realistically how you're going to deliver this. And so these projects are really at the intersection of your organizational structure, of your people, of your processes, your data, and the technology. And ultimately, it's your business. And your business succeeds because it does things that are different from your competitors. Maybe you serve your customers better. Maybe you have some secret manufacturing sauce, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So when you go into these implementations, your expectations about what the consultant should do and what you should do need to be realistic. And so don't think that you're going to hand the project over to consultants and they're going to hand you a turnkey system for your business. Your people are going to have to spend a lot of time over the course of many months reconfiguring the processes, testing the system, migrating the data, and training the end users. The consultants are there advising you and guiding you and helping you, and maybe doing a little bit of the lift. But really, your business, in order to deliver this thing successfully, needs to undertake a huge amount of that responsibility.
Right. And what I'm also interested in knowing is from your clients, from people that you have been working with, manufacturers you have been working with, what is the ask generally? Do you, I mean, do you see that people have enough information before coming to you, or they leave it up to you, or they have an idea in mind? What is it that you're seeing in terms of, the ask in terms of ERP implementation?
Right. So our clients come to us in many cases looking for us to give them answers. And the easy way out oftentimes ends up being the wrong way out. And so what we like to do is we like to empower our clients to make the right decisions. And so we can make recommendations, we can bring best practices to bear, we can help design new processes. But ultimately, I think our clients are best served if we, as part of the process, employ a train the trainer approach and help our clients become more mature and more sophisticated organizations. So really what we're doing is we're helping our clients elevate their capabilities internally so that, yeah, maybe for the first while, we're doing a lot more of the hand holding and we're doing a lot more of the lifting, but it really is also a coaching endeavor so that when the project gets to a certain stage or we get to a later phase, our clients have their sea legs under them and they're able to drive some of these initiatives or many of these initiatives with their own internal talent, with their own internal capabilities. And that's
Yeah.
really ultimately going to be the mark of a successful company, is a company that now says, hey, I've got this. And you know what? I don't necessarily need to pay consultants. And so maybe in the next step, I want to turn on finite capacity planning, or I want to turn on some of the more advanced supply chain management functionality. Well, I don't have to pick up the phone. I don't have to be on the clock to do it. I've got the organizational capabilities to do it myself.
Right. Oftentimes we notice when it comes to, Industry 4.0 technologies, digital transformation journeys, what is happening in the world is influencing how the market is reacting. It's influencing how manufacturers are asking for what they're asking. So, for example, the pandemic happened, and that brought in its, sort of consequences and what people wanted to do. And we had the introduction of ChatGPT recently that, started up this whole conversation about AI. It was already there, but people are talking more about it. They're thinking more about it, thinking about what is going to happen down the line. So uh, this poll was done at the beginning of this year, but to as we are sort of wrapping up 2023, what I want to ask is, in the ERP space, have you seen these external forces sort of define anything in the way people are thinking about ERP implementation?
Yeah, so there are a few things about AI and manufacturing companies. First off, it's coming at us much more quickly in practical use cases with actual benefits. The pandemic was one great example. Companies had to, adopt certain technologies very, very quickly. So we had to maintain social distancing
Right.
for legal reasons, also because we had to keep certain plants in critical industries operational. And so if we think about what our clients did, well, they started deploying more robotics on their shop floor, and cobots, and warehouse handling robots and the like. And so now all of a sudden we've got actual machines out in production in the warehouse that are doing tasks that were in many respects previously done by people. So something has to direct those robots, something has to direct those cobots, or those automated storage and retrieval systems and the like. And so that's the ERP system that's dropping orders, that's managing the planning engine, that's giving the direction. So again, now we're seeing from an ERP perspective, actual tighter integration between, the enterprise systems like ERP systems and some of the control systems on the shop floor, or some of the other automated technologies out there in production in the warehouse. And so one of the poll questions that was asked here is, well, how important is it for you to track performance of automated assembly lines? That's a great example. And so we need to see from a scheduling perspective how our automated assembly lines are performing, because maybe we need to automatically readjust our production schedule. Maybe we need to kick off a preventative maintenance or a reactive maintenance work order. And so again, tying the shop floor, the operations with the enterprise and the information technology systems, that made, that seemed like it was so far removed from people's thoughts. Well, during the pandemic, that came front of mind.
Yeah.
And so that's connecting IT and OT.
Yeah.
But one of the other things we're seeing in the ERP space itself is the embedding of AI solutions in the ERP applications themselves.
Yeah.
So everything from, in natural language, going in and telling a system, hey, cut me a sales order for this in natural language, as opposed to filling out 30 fields, or having an intelligent bot on the side that you can ask questions and answers to. Business intelligence applications that you can talk to in plain language. All of this stuff is now commercially ready and available.
Yeah. So, moving on from 2023, 2024 is not far behind, honestly. I think it has come too soon. So I would like to end this discussion with what do you expect to see in 2024 and even beyond that? Like, what do you see as the upcoming trends in the ERP space? And particularly, what should manufacturers be looking out for?
There are a few fundamental things that I think are beneficial for most manufacturing companies as they do this. And you know, you may be early on your digital transformation journey, and so you may not be ready to integrate with your operational technologies. But one of the things you can benefit from is the overall improvements and deployment of artificially intelligent components of ERP systems. And so what is that going to do? It's going to help reduce training costs and onboarding, because now we can speak to the system or some systems in natural language. It's going to help with process automation. So think about other areas where we're embedding AI in the systems, and that's in generating workflows and breaking down what were historically manual repetitive tasks and pushing those onto the computer system. So those are two really important areas that I think manufacturers of all shapes, sizes, and sophistication can start benefiting from.
Okay. So with that message, thank you so much, John, for joining us. Some really great insights, and maybe we will do this poll once again sometime in 2024 and find out what people have to say about, their goals at that point.
Yeah, it would be a pleasure, and it will be interesting to see whether some of these trends continue.